Since I am not watching The Chosen Season 4 in theaters and I have to wait until the episodes come out on streaming God knows when, I have to make do with the trailers. Most recently, the Chosen team released an incredibly moving trailer for the first 3 episodes of the new season, which are in theaters right now. In this video, I'll do a breakdown of this trailer scene by scene. I'm also thinking of making a video about what to expect in the remaining episodes. Don't forget to subscribe not to miss that out. Let's start. The trailer starts with Jesus walking through the marketplace. People run away from something off camera, but Jesus is walking towards it without any fear. The second scene shows Jesus and Simon sitting beside the fire. At one point, Simon leaves as we are shown Matthew watching them from afar. According to Shahar Isaac's recent interviews, there will be a reconciliation scene between Simon and Matthew in episode 2. This scene appears to be right before that forgiveness. I remember when I was following the filming process of season 4, the cast was shooting night scenes around the fire a few days in a row. It looks like Jesus and the disciples will have group scenes together as well as separate scenes around the fire. The rest of the trailer provides more clues on this. Next in the trailer is someone I haven't seen in the previous trailers, Rayma, who is laughing and holding hands with Thomas in public, which should only indicate that they are getting engaged or getting married. In another scene, Andrew is shaking his head in disbelief. I think he's reacting to the news about John the Baptist's death. Since Andrew had been a disciple of John the Baptist before following Jesus, his reaction along with Jesus's will be the most emotional. Mary Magdalene is also crying. It looks like she's also reacting to the death of John the Baptist, and the fact that she's on the ground is quite interesting. Then Joanna is seen in the trailer. She's the one who tells Jesus and the others about John's death. In this scene, she appears to be in the dungeons where the execution takes place. She has an expression of disbelief. Right after Joanna, John himself is seen touching his execution block only moments before he's beheaded. I already know that episode 1 will focus entirely on the John the Baptist storyline. The events that lead to his beheading, Herod's banquet, and then what happens afterwards, how Jesus and the disciples react. Moving on to the other scene, it's obvious that Jesus and his followers have arrived at Caesarea Philippi, the gates of hell, where the famous confession of Simon Peter takes place. Simon calls Jesus the Christ, the Son of God, and then acquires his new name, Peter. More shots of this particular scene arrive later in the trailer. Another scene shows the disciples turning around the corner and looking at something with curiosity. It's not possible to figure out what exactly they're looking at, but from their attire and where they stand, I think this is before Jesus has the confrontation with the Pharisees, where he calls them blind guides. Here, Jesus comforts Matthew. There's a fire right in front of them, so this is again from the same night where Jesus talks to Simon too. Finally, the scene I had been waiting for, Simon getting his new name. This scene will be pivotal in Simon Peter's storyline, as Shahar Isaac said it will make him more mature and empathetic. He will truly become a leader after this scene and be there for his friends, forgetting his own troubles. I cannot wait to see this side of Simon Peter. The trailer also shows Matthew and Simon, with the latter walking away from the former. It doesn't look like the reconciliation has happened yet. More Thomas and Rayma are seen together. The heavily advertised scene between Jesus and the Pharisees, where Jesus openly argues against and condemns them for their practices, will show up in episode 3. The scene is inspired by Matthew 23, a chapter called 7 Woes to the Scribes and Pharisees. After Jesus calls the Pharisees out for being hypocrites and lawless, they try to provoke people against him in return, but it doesn't work. Jesus is just getting started. More scenes show the celebrations from Herod's banquet. Shahar Isaac especially talked about being mesmerized by the dance scene in the first episode, where Herod's stepdaughter dances for him in his birthday banquet, causing a chain reaction of events that lead to the beheading of John the Baptist. Another scene shows a carriage which I believe has Joanna in it, as I remember from the BTS footage from the filming period. She's heading to Jesus to give him the bad news. Then there's the Council of Saint Hadrian in Jerusalem, where we are introduced to Caiaphas, the big bad of the upcoming seasons of The Chosen. Shmuel also appears among the attendees of the council. Atticus is watching among the crowd. I think he's watching Jesus speaking against the Pharisees and leaves angrily. He goes to Quintus, urging him to do something about the Jesus problem. It looks like the words of Atticus work, and Quintus goes outside in fury, pushing people aggressively to stop what's going on. I'm actually very curious about this scene because I cannot imagine Quintus's reaction after touching all these people who he considers are all filthy. He must be really furious to go outside and get among the crowd. The trailer then shows a family living in the tent city, more Jesus against the Pharisees, close-ups of John and then Jairus. I've seen Jairus only in the early filming period of season 4, so he won't be a big part of the later episodes. Here's a scene Quintus getting angry at Gaius for not following his orders. Gaius still hasn't gone through his transformation yet, which means the healing of his son will take place in the later part of season 4 instead of the first 3 episodes. I'm guessing the way Quintus behaves towards him compared to how Jesus approaches the ones close to him will be one of the signs for Gaius, telling him to switch sides. In one scene, Simon is walking past John and Big James. Then there's a very emotional scene from the exact moment John the Baptist gets beheaded. He sees a white light, which could be angels calling for him. More baddies from season 4: Atticus, Herod, Quintus, the stepdaughter, Shmuel, Herodias, and Joanna. I want to stop here because it seems like Joanna is protesting against the decision to behead John the Baptist, but she is held by a guard. Right after a quick scene where Jesus opens the curtains, we see and hear a new character for the very first time. He talks about Jesus and says that he used to be blind but now sees. Obviously, this is from John 9, where Jesus miraculously heals a man who was born blind. It looks like he tells Rabbi Akiva and the others about how this happened. Unfortunately, the trailer ends there, but it's such a great way to end the trailer. It leaves you wanting more. I cannot wait to watch these episodes once they come on streaming. I'm thinking probably in the middle of March after all the episodes are out in cinemas. What did you think of this trailer? Are you excited? Did you already watch these episodes? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to next season for more videos like this. See you soon.